Well, are you a fan of this new Spider-Boy from Marvel Comics? And if you are, we've got some pretty good news for you because he's getting his own series. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about Bailey Briggs, what he's bringing to Marvel Comics, and most interestingly, his new series that's launching in November. Well, a couple months ago when we find out Spider-Boy would be part of Dan Slott's Spider-Man series, fans had a ton of questions. His introduction was fairly unique because nobody knew who he was, but Spider-Boy insisted he had been there all along. Now, what we have found since then is Spider-Boy was presumably a sidekick to Peter Parker himself, going on adventures with both Peter and Miles Morales. At some point in his timeline, though, he was erased from existence by the Totem Dagger, but recently was restored to the Web of Life by Neth after Shathra's defeat. Now, unfortunately, all his friends haven't remembered him, and this has led us to where we are today. Now, the mysteries of Spider-Boy's past is going to be revealed in an upcoming new series from Marvel Comics. Marvel announced yesterday that Spider-Boy is getting his own series coming this November, and the new series is going to dive headfirst into his untold story and even introduce some new characters and villains, all while exploring his fairly deep ties to Spider-Man's mythos. Now, apparently the first issue will be completely plus-sized and will feature what Marvel is calling two pulse-pounding tales, seeing Bailey team up with Squirrel Girl and confronting a mad scientist who made him into a monster, Madame Monstrosity. Now, in Marvel's press release, Dan Slott had a lot to say about the character, and despite some of the initial backlash from comic fans, I think this is a pretty great take. He said, Spider-Man isn't supposed to have a sidekick. That's just wrong on so many levels. And that is exactly why we're going to have so much fun with this. But this character and the new title are going to break all the rules. Bailey Briggs is going to have over-the-top adventures in the Spider-Man corner of the Marvel Universe. He'll be facing off against a mix of both all-new villains and fan-favorite Spider bad guys. The one thing we can promise you, whenever you pick up a copy of Spider-Boy, we're going to take you on the weirdest and wildest swings with every single story. Now, obviously, Slott's going to promote the book pretty hard, but I do have to say, from what I've gotten so far from the character, he does seem like a lot of fun. The mystery surrounding his introduction didn't work for some fans, but I did enjoy how it's gone about and the take on the character. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a breakdown of Bailey Briggs in the next couple of weeks and try to follow his history pretty closely. It seems like there's a ton of fan demand for this character because both the books that focused on him, Spider-Man number 7 and Edge of the Spider-Verse number 13, both sold out, and they're so in demand you're even seeing some cases of fraud and scams with people really desperate to get copies of this book. Now, the new Spider-Boy series is going to be penned once again by Dan Slott, but this time the art is going to be from Paco Medina, with co-creator Humberto Ramos doing all the cover art duties. As a matter of fact, we got the cover to number 1 already. You should be checking it out now. Now, like I said, we're going to have to wait till November for this book to drop, but we just got a pretty big update on the character in the recent Edge of the Spider-Verse number 3, so hopefully the character continues to peel back the covers of the mystery of his past a little bit until we finally get the new series dropping in about 6 months. Honestly, Marvel adding more Spider characters can't hurt, and this is an interesting direction to go. The Spider-Man mythos always has room for expansion, but you have to be pretty careful, and I really am hoping this new character works with fans and sticks around long enough to make an impression on the Marvel Universe. Marvel managed to add Miles Morales to the Ultimate Universe and make those stories work in a way that made the character beloved. It's kind of sacred ground, the Spider Universe, and fans sometimes can push back pretty hard. As a matter of fact, some people say the worst people for Spider-Man are Spider-Man fans. So I'm hoping people actually give this character a chance and he's allowed to breathe and see if it works. Obviously, sales of the new book will probably drive the life of the character, but seeing how his first 2 issues completely sold out, it looks like pretty good news to me. But we'll have to wait and see.